Oh, welcome guys to Starry Hilda's Back to Eden Garden, and this is part 2. Yes, we finally made it to the part 2, and I'm going to be talking about layering today in the Back to Eden Garden method. This is really cool because now we're progressing. We have found our cover, right? You looked for cover? Wood chips, some type of organic cover, leaves, pine needles, grass, and all that, okay? Now we have to talk about how we're going to create the Back to Eden Garden. Quick little disclaimer, because I really am addressing this to people who started off like us with really bad clay, rocky soil, sandy soil, just no soil to begin with, period. So I will be talking about like this layering system that starts with newspaper and cardboard. Now, here's the disclaimer. If you have a garden that you're not happy with, and you are looking at the Back to Eden method, or you already have some pretty decent soil, but you're still looking at the Back to Eden method, you can actually skip the step of the newspaper and the cardboard and just move on to my step 2, which is going to be the compost and the manure. Okay, so just kind of pay attention to that. And the other thing I want to mention when we go over to the wood chip pile and I start doing my demonstration, little bit windy right now. We got beautiful sun, but it just rained 5 minutes ago, and then we had all these gale force winds, and yeah, I was being blown, literally, I was being blown off the mountain. So you will see a little bit of wind in that video. I'm sorry, people. I try really hard to make the best videos that I can, and the sound quality is still good. It just is, I look like I'm being blown away, and I didn't fall off the mountain, so I'm still here, so I'm good. I'm good. All right, so let's get started. Let's go over to the wood chip pile and find out what the heck is this layering system all about. All right, moving on to the next step. For all of those people who just can't find wood chips, and you may live in an area where there just isn't any wood chips, don't panic. Any natural cover with the Back to Eden method is going to work. You just need natural cover. This is how God created everything. Go out into a hardwood forest. What do you see? The pine needles are falling. The leaves are falling. They're building up and layering on the hardwood floor, and they're making fertile, rich, beautiful soil. So that's what it's about. Layering, layering, layering. When we start tilling and we start adding chemicalized fertilizers, what does man do? We ruin it. We always ruin it. So really, God had the right idea. Listen to the Creator. He knows how to do this. Okay, so say you've got your covering, be it wood chips or your leaves or your grass clippings or whatever, and now you're starting from scratch. Okay, as you see, I'm kneeling on cardboard and I have newspaper here. Lay down cardboard or lay down layers of newspaper. That's the first thing if you've got really, really bad clay, hard rock soil. This is what you're going to have to start with. So you're going to lay down your cardboard, lay down your newspaper. Don't be fancy about it. Just lay the stuff down, people. And then the next layer, remember we're talking about layers, is we need some compost and we need some manure. Now, we had problems finding this because it was our first year here and we just didn't have any resources. So people, I'm going to tell you something. Do not feel bad about having to purchase some compost. Do not feel bad about having to purchase a little bit of topsoil. It's okay, because the amount of money that you are going to spend starting this Back to Eden garden is going to pay you back tenfold, 20-fold. So make the purchase if you're starting off with really nothing. And then what you're going to do, remember we're doing layers now, just like that hardwood forest on that forest floor. You're going to lay down your compost with your manure, and then your cover. And look at this. This is awesome. We were on a scouting mission, and look what we found. This is really great wood chip material. As you see, there's a little bit of pine needles in there. There's bigger pieces of twigs in there, and there's wood chips in there. This is a great carbon nitrogen ratio. Why? Because actually small twigs and branches have a higher density of carbon and nitrogen. Now I am not I am not the scientist. I don't know how this works. That's why I depend on God to do all of it for me. That's why I do the Back to Eden gardening. But this stuff is great. Now, there's a reason why wood shavings don't work, sawdust doesn't work, and tree bark doesn't work. It all has to do with that carbon-nitrogen ratio. But you know what, people? Don't worry about it. Don't get into the politics and the science of Back to Eden gardening. Just do what Paul recommends. And then the other thing I want to tell you, when we put our wood chips on our garden, stack it up. The first year, whatever we had that was aged, we piled it on. Because what happens is, as the years go by, it just keeps breaking down and breaking down and breaking down. And you can keep adding and adding and adding. It's a wonderful, wonderful concept. So that really is basic 101. And one other thing, get started in the fall if you can. If you can't and you're doing it in the spring and summer, that's okay.